Well, howdy! This podcast is a proud member of the Podicon Go network. Podicon Go, family-friendly shows that are fun for everyone.
Welcome to Elderberry Tales. Grab your bow and your arrows. It's time for a story. Today's story is The Young Hunter and the Old Woman of the Woods, a Sami tale. One day, in the land above the Arctic Circle where the Sami live, a young Sami youth named Sturgevan ventured on a hunting trip. After 3 days, his food supplies were nearly gone, and no reindeer had been found. Having no better idea, when he noticed an overgrown path, he followed it. The path led deep into the woods, to a hut, and sitting on its front step was a very old woman. She looked up. "Pure?" she said in a raspy voice as he approached. "What?" said the young man. "That's the name of my great-great-great-grandfather." "You look just like him," said the old woman. "I was supposed to marry your great-great-great-grandfather. Oh, the memories of my Pure from so long ago." The old woman coughed, and Sturgevan offered her what was left of his food and drink. Since she had no teeth, she gnawed and sucked on his crust of bread and jam. "Why didn't the two of you marry, if you don't mind my asking?" said Sturgevan after a while. "I might as well tell you," said the old woman. "Always he took the other side. If I said it was raining, he said it was snowing. If I said it was hot in the tupa, he said it was cold. If I said to go right, he went left. Oh, Pure, Pure, what a life we would have had if only you had listened to me at least some of the time." The old woman noticed Sturgevan's hunting arrows and supplies and empty bag. "You must be far from home. You're welcome to stay here tonight. Have you had no luck hunting?" "There's no deer anywhere," said Sturgevan. "I've looked and looked." "There's plenty of deer," said the old woman. "You just need to know how to look. Your great-great-great-grandfather used to lure the deer by singing. When he stole up to the deer, he'd come so that the wind blew at his back. Now that's why your great-great-great-grandfather—" In a flash, Sturgevan grabbed his bows and arrows and bolted back into the tundra. By the end of that day, he returned to the old woman's heart, empty-handed. He didn't want to be unkind to an old woman, but in his heart, he felt angry that she had given him wrong advice. "I came back to tell you that your advice did not work," he said, grim-faced. "You are just like your great-great-great-grandfather," said the old woman. "He never listened to me either. Now, if you had only let me finish what I was saying, I would have said that he'd come up to the deer with the wind at his back, and that's why he wasn't a good hunter. When the wind is at your back, the deer catches a whiff of human scent and runs away. The wind must be blowing toward your face, so the human scent blows away from the reindeer. And singing only tells them that you're there. You must be absolutely silent." "Oh," said Sturgevan. "I'll go back to the tundra now." "Not now, not at night," said the old woman. "Sleep here and leave at daybreak. That's the best time to go hunting." When dawn broke, Sturgevan headed back to the tundra. He silently crept up on a deer while the wind was blowing on his face and sent a single arrow flying. Later that day, he and the old woman feasted on his game. You are almost like family to me, said Sir Gawain. Why don't you come live with my family? I could have been your great-great-great-grandmother, said she. But you know, when they get old, all animals stay at their nest or cave. I will stay here. Then I will stay with you, said the youth. And so Sir Gawain and the old woman lived for a number of happy years in her hut, with plenty to eat and plenty to talk about. I'm going to confess something to you. Sometimes my brain thinks too fast, faster than it should. Sometimes when someone is telling me something, even something important, I am thinking that I already know what they're going to tell me, and I stop listening. Because I'm thinking too fast, and I'm already thinking about the next thing. Does that ever happen to you? Sometimes it works out because sometimes I'm right about what I thought they were going to tell me, and I can just run off and get started on whatever it was that they wanted me to do. But when I'm wrong about what they wanted to say, it's a problem. I might get their instructions wrong. I might even do the exact opposite wrong thing. And that's kind of what happened to Sir Gawain. And I think it's good for us, especially for those of us that think quickly or who have very loud thoughts, to remember that sometimes we have to slow down and just listen. We have to be patient with people who are telling us stories and who are giving us instructions. Because if we're too impatient, we'll just get it wrong, and we'll mess it all up. Maybe you can keep that in mind this week. When someone is telling you something and you can tell that they think it's important, you can just slow down your thoughts and make sure that you're really listening. Try it and see if you like it. This story comes originally from the Sami people, who live way, way up north above the Arctic Circle. And as you probably noticed in the story, they live near reindeer, and they live with reindeer, and they hunt reindeer. They live way up in the north part of Finland and Norway and Sweden, and even all the way over to Russia. This story was adapted by Elaine L. Lindy for the website Stories to Grow By. Thanks again to our partner, Stories to Grow By, for sharing these wonderful stories with us. We appreciate it. And we appreciate you, our listeners. We wouldn't do this without you. Thanks for listening to Elderberry Tales. I'll see you next week.